Okay, shalom, shalom, everybody. We here again with another Sabbath class on March 21st for the Prophets of Awakening. And what I want to do in order to try to make this thing right is I want to do my prayer first, and I'm gonna give everybody a little time and before I started praying and a little silence to make confessions or whatever, because that's needed. So we're gonna do a little silence for a minute, and I go into the prayer. Okay, so with the I'm gonna begin my prayer. Is, O Lord, I pray unto the Lord, my God. We make our confessions, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping covenant and mercy to them that love thee, and them that keep thy commandments. O Lord, righteousness belongs unto thee, but unto us confusion of face as it is this day. To the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven us, because of our trespass that we have trespassed against thee. As it is written in the laws of Moses, all this evil is come upon us in the land of our captivity, here in the Americas. O Lord, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, let thine anger and thy fury be turned away from the city of Jerusalem and thy people and thy holy mountain. O Lord, hear this prayer and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary and thy people for the Lord's sake. O Lord, open thine eyes and incline thine ears to hear and to behold our condition. O Lord, hear, O Lord, forgive, O Lord, hearken and do, defer not, for thine own sake and for my Lord, O my Lord, for thy people and your land need you desperately. Peace be unto you.
Yes, hallelujah.
Okay. So with that being said, I want to go into the first, before I get started on that, I'm formulating a little plan based on trial and error since I had the line, and when the Most High first had called me out doing all this, I was baffled, and then I didn't understand the fact that it's like crossing the river. The Most High, he got one person to cross the river first, and now he got him going back and forth across the river, bringing people back over. So when Canterbury stopped calling, that bothered me. And then the conversation that I had with Milka, you know what I'm saying? So I just not, I don't take that too easy when people don't call in. So the thing is that so after that happened, I started formulating a plan, because you got people that you've been dealing with for a while, and then somebody else come in, and you have to backtrack to do the other person. I think I've been doing a good job on that anyway, because it's hard to offend me. So what I did was I concocted this plan right here. I got me a little format, and I'm gonna read it out right quick if I can. Yeah, it's I do my prayer first, current events. Then I'm reading from either the Book of Jubilees, Jasher, or Enoch. Then I do the lesson, and then question and answer to the lesson, and then I do connect the dots, and then I do a prayer from one of our forefathers, from one of the prophets, and then up until the day I closed out after that. But I was realizing that based on, like I said, especially with Castleberry, you got questions, but we still got to do the lesson. So I added this other feature I call plugs. So I can say some things that's going to help somebody that just come on the line, but at the same time, class still flowing. Okay, so that's where we at today. So I'm on current events right now, and one of the things I had seen yesterday was Trump shut down the Mexican and the Canadian border, and then his reason for that was it's an attempt to slow down the coronavirus, the pandemic. And this went into effect last night at midnight. They closed the Canadian and the Mexican border line. And it says, and Canada and Mexico agreed to restrict their travel across the border, and only for work and for essential reasons. And then another one was that the National Institute of Health, which is the NIH, the chairman, Dr. Francis Collins, told his employees in an agency-wide conference call on Friday that as many as 70,000, check this out, as many as 7,000 Americans could be confirmed as infected with corona by the end of this week. So by the end, this weekend coming, he's saying that 70,000 people they expected to have 7,000 people infected with the virus. And then Collins says the number of confirmed cases inside the U.S. currently stands at about 14,000. So that's a big difference. 14,000, 7,000. It says, and we will probably see 4 to 5 times that number of cases within a week or 10 days from now. Okay, and then the comment, and remember this name right here, I must give you. Johns Hopkins University Hospital reports that 17,000, they said 17,000 that's affected now, and 225 Americans are dead. So remember that. Johns Hopkins made this statement that 17,000 right now is affected, whereas the National Institute of Health says that it's only 14,000. Okay? Mm. So, with that being said, anybody got something want to bring up current events or some of the things the class need to know?
And the solution is more than likely something so very simple that everybody can or do already possess.
Right, exactly. Well, from our observation, based on the past and dealing with the Most High and all that, I mean, like I said, these people are diabolical, and they've been getting away with it for so long that they just say something, and then we got the population, the mass of the population, so confounded that everything they say they believe without doing no research, and so they can create. I mean, it's like when you stop to think about 9/11. I mean, come on, how's a plane gonna hit? A plane gonna hit the World Trade Center and knock it down? And when you understand how it was constructed, and then the plane gonna hit it, then it's gonna collapse like it did. When you obviously can see that that's a demo job when it came down, but. So yeah, but it's a big difference in the mind of the people now than 10, 15, even 5 years ago, because people just ain't going for the okie doke no more. And I think it's coupled with what the Most High did, what the Most High pointed spirit out, and the internet, because it don't take nothing but to flick your fingers. If you got some doubts about something and you want to get some more information on it, you just go to the internet. So people ain't going for those no more. And they so that's they time running out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that video that was shared, that showed the hierarchy and Pizzagate and all the stuff that that they do, all the gross stuff that they do, and it just shows you, it put me back to thinking about Abraham when he didn't go down to Sodom and Gomorrah. He stayed separate from them, and it just shows you why you got to separate from these people, man, because they who they are is just disgusting.
Right. Exactly, because but like I said, up until this point, and because they construed all angles and all understanding that people don't think straight, because and that's the reason why I say you get into the scriptures, the Old Testament, and the books that we discovering that belong to our forefathers, and you begin to comprehend what they trying to convey, and start thinking like a Hebrew and thinking like an Israelite. because they diabolical. He commanded us all through the scriptures to stay away from these people. Don't mingle with them. Don't receive their understanding. Don't none of that. And it was a reason for it. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So with that being said, I want to go into I'm going to read out of the book of Enoch. I'm reading chapter 57 or 53 through 57. Okay. Okay. All right, 53 says, Enoch chapter 53. There mine eyes saw a deep valley with open mouths, and all who dwell on the earth and sea and the islands shall bring to him gifts and presents and tokens of homage. But that deep valley shall not become full, and their hands commit lawless deeds. The sinners devour all whom they lawless oppress. Yet the sinners shall be destroyed before the face of the Lord of spirits, and they shall be banished from off the face of his earth, perishing forever and ever. I looked and saw all the angels of the punishment abiding there and preparing all the instruments of Satan. And I asked the angels of peace who went with me, for whom are they preparing these instruments? And he said unto me, they prepare these for the king and for the mighty men of this earth, that they may thereby be destroyed. So I want to shine light on that. Verse 7 says, and he said unto me, they prepare these for the kings and the mighty men of this earth, and they shall be, that they may be destroyed. So when the giant died, he wasn't destroyed. The spirit of the giant still existed. I mean, that's what evil spirits is on the earth today. So you have to understand that. That's where the evil spirits come from today. That's tormenting mankind with the wickedness that's going on today. These evil spirits, and so he's telling you right here that Most High got to finish the job. He's gonna come and destroy the spirit of these giants on the earth. And you also it gives you a greater understanding of what a king was. A king was a giant. And then we know that Satan, Samuel, and some of his henchmen came through Tubal came and came to sin and showed them how to make weapons of swords and breastplates and all that, and how to fashion crowns and metal, and how to put rubies and diamonds in the crown. That's what a king is. That's the origins of a king. Like I said, these people are obsessed with materialistic stuff, and so that's what the Israelites saw when they came out of Egypt. When they was passing through the land of Canaan, is giants and races of giants all over the place, and they got kings over them. So when they got to the land of Canaan, to the land where the Most High was taking them, they had seen so many kings adorned with all this stuff on that they wanted one. And so that's why the Most High gave them Saul. But like I said, it was already prophesied that he was going to bring forth David. But he gave them what they wanted. Yeah. So just like with when they was praying in the wilderness for meat, and he gave them the quails. And then when they got the meat in their mouth, he killed half of them while they was eating. This is Enoch 53 and 8. And after this, the righteous and the elect ones shall cause the house of his congregation to appear, and they shall be no more hindered in the name of the Lord of spirits. And these mountains shall not stand as the earth before his righteousness, but the hills shall be as a fountain of water. And in that day shall the righteous have rest from the oppression of sinners. Enoch 54, and I looked and turned in another, to another part of the earth, and I saw there a deep valley with burning fire. And they brought the kings and the mighty and began to cast them into this deep valley. And there mine eyes saw how they made these their instruments iron chains of immeasurable weight. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, for whom are these chains being prepared? And he said unto me, these are being prepared for the host of Aziel, so that they may take them and cast them into the abyss of completing the abyss of complete condemnation, and they shall cover their jaws with rough stones, as the Lord of Spirits commanded. So I want to shine light on that, because a lot of people can't figure out how can the people be so horrendous and wicked as they was that came and got us on the west coast of Africa, and all the atrocities that happened on the transatlantic slave trade. Well, right here, when you go back to Genesis chapter 6, when the Most High created when these angels came down and slept with women and got giants, well, that was their children. They loved their children. Well, the commandment that went forth from the Most High, he sent the 7 angels down to bind those angels that had done that. But he said, before you bind them, kill all their children. Let them see you. Let you see you kill their children. And so they witnessed that. Then they bound them in chains, like he's saying right here. So now who are we? The people that was on the transatlantic slave trade, the victims of the transatlantic slave trade. We, the Most High people. The same people, same angels that bound their forefathers in chains. They came and bound their children in chains. That's why it was so horrendous. Okay? So, chapters 53 and 6 says, and Michael and Gabriel and Raphael and female shall take hold of them on that great day, and they shall cast them into the burning furnace, that the Lord of Spirits may take a vengeance on them for their unrighteousness. So that's for what they done to us. That's what he's talking about. 8, and in becoming subject to Satan and leading astray those who dwell on the earth. And in those days shall punishment come from the Lord of Spirits, and he will open all the chambers of water which are above the heavens, and he will open the chambers of the fountains which are in the earth beneath, and all the waters shall be joined with the waters which are above the heavens, and they shall destroy all who dwell on the earth, and those who dwell under the ends of the heavens. And when they have recognized their unrighteousness which they have wrought on the earth, then by these shall they perish. In chapter 55, after all that, the head of days repented and said, in vain have I destroyed all who dwell on the earth. And he swore by his great name, henceforth I will not do so to all who dwell on the earth, and I will set a sign in the heavens. And this shall be a pledge of good faith between me and them forever, so long as heaven is above the earth. This is my covenant with them, when I have desired to take hold of them by the hand of the angels on the day of tribulation and pain. Because of this, I will cause my chastisement and my wrath to abide upon them, says God, the Lord of Spirits. Ye mighty kings who dwell on the earth, ye shall have to behold mine elect ones, how he sits on the throne of glory, and judges Aziel and all his associates and all his hosts, in the name of the Lord of Spirits. Enoch chapter 56. And I saw there the host of the angels of punishment going, and they held scourges and chains of iron and bronze. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, to whom are these who hold the scourges going? And he said unto me, to their elect and beloved ones, that they may be cast into the chasm of the abyss of the valley. And then that valley shall be filled with their elect and beloved, and the days of their lives shall be at an end. And the days of their leading astray shall not be thenceforward be reckoned. And in those days the angels shall return and fall upon them of who are in the east, even upon the Parthians and the Medes. They shall stir up the kings, so that a spirit of unrest shall come upon them, and they shall rouse them from their thrones, that they may break forth as lions from their lairs, and as hungry wolves among the flock. And they shall go up and tread underfoot the land of his elect ones, and the host of his elect ones shall be before them as threshing floor and as a highway. But the city of my righteous shall be a hindrance to their horses, and they shall begin to fight among themselves, and their right hand shall be strong against themselves, and a man shall not know his brother, nor shall his son know his father or his mother, until there be no number of the carcasses throughout their slaughter, and their punishment be not in vain. In those days Sheol shall open his mouth, and they shall be swallowed up therein, and their destruction shall be at an end, for Sheol shall devour the sinners in the presence of the elect. Okay, in chapter 57, the last chapter, and it came to pass after this that I saw another host of chariots, and men riding thereon, coming on the winds from the east and from the west to the south, and the noise of their wagons were heard in heaven. And when their turmoil took place, the holy ones from heaven marked it, and the pillars of the earth were moved from their place, and the sound thereof was heard from the one end of heaven to the other in one day. And they shall all fall down and worship the Lord of spirits. And this is the end of the second parable. Okay? So anybody got any questions on what I read? That was Book of Enoch 53, chapter 53 through 57. Any comment? Did anybody hear anything that stuck out? They wanted to come in on? Okay. So we're going to move forward to the lesson. And the lesson today, my lesson is about they put out a video called "The World is About to Change," and so I thought it was worth having a Sabbath class on. So what I'm doing is I'm breaking it up, and it was 10 parts to it, and I'm doing 5 of the parts for the morning Sabbath class, and I'm doing the other 5 parts for the evening Sabbath class. Okay, and so the narrator lets us know that the world, as we know it, is about is crumbling before our eyes. Now, this documentary is about an elite group of people and their plan to destroy the world. Okay, and try to bring in a new order. Okay, and so she showed us how that the forest fires in California, how that there wasn't normal fires, how that they was some kind of new technology that they was using to burn all those homes up that was in California, and she showed us how that mercury is being injected in the children, but they tell you on the other hand how dangerous mercury is. Matter of fact, that's when I was working on the road those 7 years. That's what we was doing. We was working along those pipelines in Mississippi and Georgia and Alabama. From early on in American history, they had these stations, these different little train stations. They were so far along the train track. They had a little station where they had these meters in there, and those meters had mercury in it. Mm-hmm. And so as technology increased, and they didn't those meters, mercury meters became obsolete, they just threw them outside the train station, out on the ground. And so all around that area, it was hot. And so once they realized that, they hired this company that I was working for. We had to go all along that pipe, all along that train track and that pipe. We was working the train track and the pipeline, and we had to dig up all these areas, hot areas, and take that dirt out and put clean dirt in there. Then we had to, we found mercury. We had to bottle the mercury because the mercury don't mingle itself with nothing else. It sitting there inside the ground, just sitting there, a little blob of mercury until you come and dig it up. So, like I was saying, that's wicked as hell because you're taking that same mercury now, knowing what its capabilities is, and now you're using it in vaccines and stuff, injecting it into children. And then the narrator also showed us that about the chemtrails, which everybody should know about chemtrails. That's what they spray over. You be seeing them over above these lines all through the sky. There's chemtrails. But the thing was that these chemtrails contain aluminum, borium, codium, and titanium, which it's when it falls from the sky, we breathe it in, and then it accumulates in our brain, and that's the reason why Alzheimer's and Parkinson's cases and diseases didn't increase so much because of what they're doing with those chemtrails, and then we receiving the backlash from it. And he also talked about how they're harvesting organs without no consent. If you don't make it specific before you die, what you want done with your organs, then they're gonna strip you after you're dead. They're gonna strip the body of all that, and they even going out pursuing certain people with certain blood types and taking their organs. Okay. So she also alluded to all the references to another thing that I thought was big was she alluded to all the references of snakes and serpents around the world. How they building all these different monuments that's shaped like serpents and snakes. Right. And so, like I was saying before, I was telling you about we did a class on Thursday about David Icke, and ever since we've been on the line, I've been referring you to this book called The Biggest Secret, and David Icke wrote it. And so when the Most High first came and was dealing with me, I was led to this book. And so you got to have this book along with the Enoch, and along with the King James, and along with the Josh and Jubilee. You got to have it. So I'm going to read out of it based on what I just what she revealed about all these. They referencing all these different snake images and all that. So I'm going to read right quick out of the book, The Biggest Secret, written by David Icke. It's in chapter 2, and it's the name of that chapter. Let me get it right quick. The name of the chapter is Don't Mention the Reptiles. Like I say, you get a chance. You can go online and get this book used, and you can get it used, and it's probably about $7-8, less than that probably by now. It says, it starts out, "Are you ready for this? I wish I didn't have to introduce the following information because it complicates the story and opens me up to the mass ridicule. But stuff it. If that is where the evidence takes me, that is where I shall go every time. I don't think that the Anunnaki of the Samaritan tablets and the white Martians proposed in Brian's scenario are the same people, although there are many, there may well be a genetic connection between them. Putting together the mass of evidence, views, and research and opinions that I have read or heard almost daily these past years, I feel that the Anunnaki are a race from a reptile genetic stream, right? So I'm going to stop right there. So he says that he believes he's Anunnaki. So that word Anunnaki is in the Bible. Those who came down from above. And he's saying that they reptiles. Well, we already figured that out because we know that Satan is a serpent, and it's a priesthood. Whether the Most High changed them like that once he cast them out or whatever, but these reptiles came down. They've been there from the very beginning. And the man showing you this right here. We see these reptile humanoids and everything all over the place. So it's not something that's far fetched. And so you gotta research this, understand it, then you gotta incorporate it into the understanding, because you can't leave it out. You know, it's just like when you find out who Lord hosts and who these 7 angels are. You can't act as if they and try to act like you don't understand, you don't know, you haven't heard that. You gotta, once you see that they are part of the Most High process, then you gotta do your homework, that you're able to factor them in and get the right understanding. Yeah. So this book is called The Biggest Secret by David Icke. David Icke. You say you can go on Amazon or I got mine off eBay. Used. Okay. So she also alluded to 9/11, and then she was showing how these people are using Disney. You know, they pedophiles and they perverted, but they're making money off of Walt Disney, and at the same time they pedophiles. So they getting they're making the cake and eating it too. And then they're behind with all that. You know, they're supposed to, like I say, they keep on hollering about that's their way to put you to sleep. They hollering about the kids, but they behind all the abortions that's being in America and around the world. They're the ones behind all the abortion clinics, right? And then she also talked about the migrant caravan, how that these people had on, which was a big thing a few months back, how this caravan came out of nowhere and had, the masses of the people would assume that that was actually happened, how they walked all the way from Venezuela all the way to South America, all the way to the border of Mexico. When reality was, when you take a second look, they had busted people there, and George Soros was paying them to do what they did. So, like I said, that's diabolical, and it should make you start to think, and that you should consider everything, from JC all the way down. You gotta do your homework. Yeah. So, and then she talked about how that, and that this is something to think about too. How which I already knew this. I'm quite sure a lot of people online knew it. The cell phones and your TVs and laptops, they all embedded with spyware, which is tied to the Pentagon. And then and all the diseases that they have, they are patented. And the reason that they patented is because they just regular diseases that come about that they're just really harmless. They might have the flu. You might get the flu, and then 2 or 3 days later it goes away. But they come in and weaponize. And then so once they weaponize it, they got to patent it, because they didn't transform the dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so she also pointed to the fact that Bayer, the people that make the aspirin, Bayer aspirin, did a merger with Monsanto's. And Monsanto's is the people, they started, like I was saying, how you understand that Most High got a kingdom, and Satan, he was in at one point, he was in heaven. So he didn't simulate it and use the blueprint that Most High have down here. He got a kingdom. And so this is behind all this wickedness. And so Monsanto was a little obscure company out in, wasn't really nothing. They the ones concocted Agent Orange that was killing a lot of people and causing all the defects over in Vietnam. And so they merged with Bayer. Now they this big old huge conglomerate wreaking havoc all over the world with these, making all these fruit got seeds in them. So they took the technology from Bayer, from the medical side, and merged it with this technology, this abominable technology, how to finagle fruit and plants and eat. And so it's not a good merger. That's like, for example, going back to people, us being blind, the Most High says that we can't lend money. We can't borrow, get somebody some money and put interest on it. He said that's abominable. So we got banks in our community, and everybody references the bank. Everybody referencing the bank. You know what I'm saying? When the bank wicked as hell, but we reference it. The church, we know how the church came about. The New Testament and all that, wicked as hell, but we reference it. We got it up on a pedestal. The bank and the church in the neighborhood is worse than the coronavirus. But we referencing it, and we putting it up on a pedestal. JC, you find out that it's everything around it flies. There's manure all around that situation, flies flying everywhere, but the cross, and the cross and him crucified, sitting in the middle of all this with flies all around it, but that's good. When it ain't good, okay? So, he also talked about how they hoodwinked us with the Obama. You know, how slick he was. You know, but she gave an example that he bombed 7 countries. That's supposed to be that's a no for a Democrat, but he bombed 7 countries, and they gave him the Nobel Peace Prize. He ain't did nothing to get it. And then she also said he dropped a bomb every 20 minutes while he was in the White House. You got to think about that. That's wicked as hell. And so she said, which is shining light on me. I don't know if too many people know about it, but the 7 countries he bombed was Pakistan, Somalia, Yemen, Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, and Libya. So when you understand, I was talking to the class on several occasions about Colorado and all these murals that they have on the walls in Colorado. These people don't do nothing. They do everything. There's a reason behind it. So on this wall, in the main mural in the airport in Denver is they got this little red-haired boy standing there, but he's standing on the square. You know, he's standing like the Mason stand on the square. He's red-haired. He got all these children around him. They like worshiping him. So when you understand that little red-haired boy is Harry, Queen Elizabeth. So you say, what are you talking about? Okay, when you track Queen Elizabeth, their lineage back, it goes back. They tell you that their lineage go back to the throne of David in Jerusalem, and it also goes back to the Pharaoh, the 29th dynasty of 29th dynasty of what they call them, the Ptolemaic dynasty, Ptolemy. Ptolemy was when Alexander died, he divided his kingdom up into four generals. Ptolemy was one of those generals, and he received Judea and Egypt to rule. So they lineage come back. They go all the way back to that. So what you're saying, that's Esau. Esau was Ptolemy was the Edomite. Alexander was the Edomite. All the 4 generals was Edomites. So the known world at the time was divided up by these four Edomite generals. Ptolemy got Egypt. So these people, and then we know from Obadiah that Esau stole the land of Israel in 143 BC when Antiochus Epiphanes came. And so they was in the land of Israel from 143 BC to 70 AD. Titus and Pompey, Titus and his son Vespasian, the one that ran them out. And so they was sitting on the throne, imposters on the throne in Jerusalem. And so they was given safe passage to Spain, and then they ended up in Great Britain on that throne. So a lot of the stuff you see going on, one of the reasons why we being ushered and herded back to Africa because they trying to build up this last final kingdom through the United States of Africa, but they want to rule the world from Jerusalem. So they want to take Queen Elizabeth's throne, the Windsor throne that's in Britain, and take it back to Jerusalem. But they got to clear out all the land that was originally given to Abraham, which is from the river in Egypt all the way to the Middle East. That's where all these countries consist of.
Hmm.
That's why he bombed them. But like I said, who knows that?
Hmm.
So they didn't accomplish all that. So, and that's why you see that. Why you see what's going on now? They going by blueprint. Yeah. So like I said, do the research on that. I got a video on that. This imam we talked about a couple of days ago. But I'm gonna give you the video, and he breaks that down. He got a video called Old Jerusalem or something like that, and he breaks down how he had predicted before Obama came on the scene how that you was gonna start seeing these countries over there gonna get knocked off, and then it already accomplished it. Okay, and so somebody, who phone is it? Okay, then she mentioned Q. I mean, anybody know anything about Q? They heard anything about that? Over the internet? Anybody know anything about?
I had heard about them, but I didn't know how they were connected to Trump. But I heard about them. Okay,
yeah. So it came out maybe a couple of years ago, 18 months or so ago, and they started giving me posts about this so-called unanimous person, Q, giving out information, giving out, like hidden secrets and all this stuff. So that went on, and then it kind of faded. But I didn't know that what happened was I saw it, I had read it, but I didn't connect the dots until I was watching this video that they had all these people all around the world wearing these yellow vests. And these people wearing these yellow vests were so-called awakened people. They call them anons, awakened through the information that Q had been giving out. And so they was causing a revolution. And I think once you understand that, I think a lot of that is tied to Bernie Sanders too. The phenomenon that's going around Bernie Sanders is tied to this Q thing. So she says that, and then so what he does. So what they started doing was, it's a group of people who doing it, who's behind it, and it says that they will give out crumbs. And what a crumb is that they got phrases that they use. When you see this phrase, it's like a trigger. And here goes some examples of it. It says that the calm before the storm. Trump say that all the time. Drain the swamp. He say that all the time. Trust the plan. These people are sick. This is not a game. Follow the map. The future proves the past. Think mirrors. Use logic. Follow the white rabbit. They never thought she would lose. Those who know cannot sleep. United we stand, divided we fall. Right? These are a bunch of things they use. They use these crumbs they call to uncover the cabal, which is the Illuminati. So it's supposedly these people, these yellow jackets on, supposed to be against the Illuminati. But when you understand how diabolical it is, it's all tied to the Illuminati. The Illuminati behind it. Okay. And like I was saying earlier, they have a plan. They're using all this stuff, all these tentacles of this octopus to come to a head, to control, to destroy the world as we know it, and the earth in a new world. Like I was saying, Edomites. Let me read that right quick to put this into biblical perspective. If you go to Malachi, the last chapter of the Old Testament. You got it?
Yes.
Malachi. Okay, Malachi chapter 1, it says, based on the information I gave you, Esau was in the land from 143 to 70 AD. It wasn't the Israelites that was driven out in 70 AD. It was Esau. He had dwelled there, inherited, built the temple and all that. So they had existed there in the land of Israel. They had stole the land from Jacob, just like Abraham and Isaac had prophesied when they laid hands on them, that he was gonna break his brother's yoke off his neck. Well, when the Antioch Epiphanies came, they broke the yoke and they stole the land. They was existing there as the 12 tribes of Israel, the same 12 names that Jacob had, except Jacob was on the west coast of Africa. Then he said they was gonna fall. Well, in 70 AD they failed. They was ran out. So when you come to Malachi chapter 1, it says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi, I have loved you, said the Lord. Yea, yet ye say, wherein have thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, said the Lord. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and I laid his mountain and his heritage to waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So I want to inject something right there, because if you want to get to the bottom of what's being said and what I'm saying, who you going to listen to? The Lord, or you going to listen to some clown that on CNN? So it says, 3, I hated Esau. I laid his mountains and his heritage to wait for the dragons of the wilderness. So you would assume that this was at Mount Seir when it says his heritage. But 4, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Jacob, the one, got the desolate places. So we will build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall be called, and they shall call them the borders of wickedness. What border? And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. 5, and your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the borders of Israel. So when the Most High judge them, they're going to be in Israel. Well, they over there right now. They was there in 70 AD, from 143 to 70 AD, and he kicked them out. But they said in verse 4 of Malachi chapter 1, whereas Edom said, we were impoverished, but we will return. Well, we even witnessed the return over the news. They came back in 1948, just like they said, and they rebuilt the desolate places. What desolate places? The desolate places from Daniel, when Antioch Epiphanies came, when the Most High indignation came to a full. And he destroyed the Israelites out and sent them on the west coast of Africa. Okay? So that's what these people, all this is about. They want to return there. And the crowning moment is when they bring the Edomite crown that was in Jerusalem in 70 AD back there from Britain. But it's Harry. Red-headed Harry is the one that's going to be on the throne when that happens. That's why he's in the news. You see him in the news all the time. All of a sudden, he's all over the news. Him and Meghan Markle. So it says, like I said, do Google that. Do your research on that little boy with the red head. And you look at him, and it ain't hard to figure out who it is. Okay? So, he's talking about how that she went into the fact that, and these are the same people, like I keep on saying, these people, they've been murdering, killing, and pillaging, raping their kids and all that forever, for time immemorial. And so Abraham Lincoln and JFK they killed them. And so you say, what are you talking about? Well, these are the same people, Brutus and his little group, that killed Julius Caesar. The Edomites. They've been killing people all the way down to now. They killed one of the things that the video shined a light on for me was that they had 3 guys that was wealthy, they was billionaires that was trying to stop the Federal Reserve from coming in place. And they killed them on the Titanic. So now all of a sudden you find out that was the whole reason why this is the means that they'll go through. They sunk a whole Titanic with all the people that was on it and everything that happened with the surrounding the Titanic to kill these 3 men. You know, I can't really pronounce their name. Benjamin Graham, Isidore Strauss, and Jacob Astor said they was all killed by these Edomites just to bring in the Federal Reserve. Okay, and then and from that came forth the Rockefellers, which is what I was harping on earlier about the John Hopkins Institute. You can see how this tie in. The Rockefellers, they control, and look at the world today. Look at all the drugs that's all over the place, how they increase. The Rockefellers control the CDC, pills, education, etc. All that. They behind Harvard, Yale University, the John Hopkins Hospital. That's the people that I just mentioned that announced that the head of the World Health Organization said it was 14,000 that have the virus, but John Hopkins Center said that it's 17,000. So you can see them at work right here. Then it says they control the International Health Foundation, Drug Trust, the FDA. They control vaccines. Like I say, they making trillions of dollars off of the vaccines. That's why vaccines being pushed. They don't care what it's doing to the kids and to the people. They don't care. They behind the fluoride in the water. They behind the GMOs. These making these fake plant fruits and vegetables that don't have no seeds in them. They behind all that. Okay. Anybody got any comments before I go forward? Anything they want to say? Comments?
Yes. So when it comes to the fake fruits and vegetables and things that are being grown, we know that they promote a certain seed, and they actually make the farmers buy those seeds that are going to grow those fruits that don't have seeds in them to reproduce. Do you think that has stretched to Africa?
Well, it's not really. I don't think it's really the stretch to Africa because the Africans ain't going for that. They ain't going, just like with they in a all out war right now, a media blitz over homosexuality. The Africans say they ain't going for that. They don't want them. They don't want that over there. So it's the same thing with those. When you go back and look at how the Most High created everything, it's the Africans and the Israelites. They're the ones that connected to the earth. So they would know when something is abominable and when it ain't. But they want to have you to think that they the ones know all this. It's just like when they want to make you think that John Wayne and all them was they the cowboys or they the ones that know cattle. But we see in the Old Testament in the very beginning that Jacob and Israel and them was dealing with cattle, and they showing you every day you watch any kind of National Geographic documentary in Africa, you see all those black guys, the Ethiopians and those Cushites controlling cattle.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to make you think that they don't know it all when it comes to cattle, but they ain't. Like I say, they talk with their mouth, but it don't add up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So other than those seeds that are produced by them, other than them not producing fruit that have seed to be reproduced, those type of fruits are harmful to us, or is it just that they do not have
nutrients,
seeds to reproduce? And does it have, and how does that connect, if it does, to seed time and harvest?
Well, you got to just look at it from the fact that you go out on a date or whatever, and then you have an accident and the guy get cut all up, and green blood come out his veins. What you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a human?
No.
Or is it somebody you need to deal with or pursue?
No.
No.
Same thing with you got an apple and ain't got no seeds in it. Is that something you should eat?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. All right. So,
I just want to say I saw a YouTube video where the people, this farming guy in Africa, he was saying that they don't subscribe to, like he said, and he mentioned United States and GMOs. He said they have their own seeds over there. They don't. They ain't feeling what's going on over here.
Right. Exactly.
And what's up with those foods is that the ones here is it lacks nutrients. They don't care that you're not getting the nutrients. Theirs is to kill, steal, and destroy, and they doing it through the food. So
Right.
So it's a double whammy. It's a double whammy. They making billions, trillions of dollars off of it, but at the same time they culling the population too. That's diabolical. So like I said, when you understand that, you have to look at that. They diabolical, but it's a higher source behind that. And it goes back to, like I was saying before, Enoch tells you that these giants, when they died, their spirits stayed here. And the whole other evil spirits upon the earth that's tormenting mankind to this day. Until the Most High come and get rid of them. So it's really no difference in them and a fallen angel. You can't kill now one of them. And so how you gonna deal with an entity that's been here 2,500 years before you got here? He just saw every trick of the trade. You're gonna get caught up eventually because he ain't been around. So the lady was shining light on the fact that, which I didn't know, how that Trump had made so many arrests in 2018 and 2019 pertaining to human and child trafficking, right? And then she said Trump believed that most of the human slaves come through the southern border. That's the reason why he's trying to put the wall up. But I'm gonna expound on that later on why Trump name keep coming up. So, and then Trump also made a vow against that wicked Mexican group called MS-13. He made a vow that he's gonna get rid of them all the way down to the very last one.
Right.
So, okay, then he got she went to the fact to talk about how the Clintons had stole $3 million from the Haiti relief fund and used it for their daughter Kelsey wedding. That came out. This is the reason why Hillary Clinton lost the election at the last minute. WikiLeaks released this stuff like this. Then it says the Red Cross received $500 million from Haiti's relief, but they only built 6 houses for the people in Haiti. And then she listed some of the people that the Clintons killed. That started uncovering what they were doing, and then she came down to the fact that those symbols, they got symbols. They got symbols. When you understand how these people operate, they got sign language and symbols, and these symbols are all tied to that they all tied to pedophilia. And the person that really exposed them was Mel Gibson. He said that the Hollywood, these people, they harvest the blood of children, they eat their flesh. If a child was suffering in the body and in the psychic before he died, they believe that this gives them extra life force. These people thrive on pain, trauma, stress, abuse, and suffering, right? And so, he said Hollywood is a institutional pedophile ring. It is a den of parasites who feast on the blood of children. And so I want to shine light on that because a lot of people don't get the meaning of that. Mm-hmm. So they tell us that we all originate from all the same place. But it says right here in Genesis chapter 4, verse 10, when the Most High curse came, he says in 4 and 10, Genesis, and he said, "What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother cries unto me from the ground, and now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. So what's 12 telling us? They ain't got no respect for the earth. So what these people doing? They putting GMOs in the earth. They don't care. So 13, and Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou art driven out this day from the face of the earth, and from the face shall it be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. So what they're saying, the earth is not going to yield nothing to them. And because he can't yield nothing to you, you got to go and rob and steal and take it. You got to be a parasite. Okay? That's what Mel Gibson just said. Hollywood is an institutionalized pedophilia ring. It is a den of parasites all the way back to Cain, Japheth, who feast on the blood of children. So say, what are you talking about? Well, Esau intermingled with these people. That's how you get Edom. That Edom is the fourth beast. Edom in Rome is synonymous. Okay, so let me give you some examples, a couple of examples of how the Most High is alluding to these people, but we haven't connected the dots. One of them is 2 Samuel. Second Samuel chapter 7. Chapter 7, verse 10. Chapter 7, verse 2 Samuel 7 and 10. The Most High talking. Like I said, who you gonna listen to? Most High or somebody out here says, moreover, I will appoint a place for my people, that's Israel, and I will plant them that they may dwell in the place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them any more as aforetime. So my question is we being afflicted right now?
Yes.
It's a group of people that's doing it. It's a group of people that's doing it. Here they are, right here. He's telling you right here. Way back in 2 Samuel, that moreover, I will appoint a place for my people, Israel, and I will plant them that they may dwell in the place of their own and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness. That's a race of people that I just showed you in Genesis. It came from Cain. The children of wickedness afflict them anymore as aforetime. Okay, then Genesis chapter 4. Chapter 4, verse 16. He began to make it plain. 4 and 16 says, Genesis 4 and 16, and Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. So let's look at that, because Adam didn't leave from the presence of the Lord. His descendants over in Genesis chapter 5, they in the presence of the Lord. Genesis 4 and 16 says, Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden, and came to his wife, and she conceived, and she bore Enoch. And so he gives you all the lineage, and then the lineage of Cain's descendants, and you get 21. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all that such handle the harp and the organ. And Zillah, she also bore Tubal-Cain, an artificial of brass and iron. So he the one that started making weapons. That the Greeks and the Romans and all them, they're doing the same thing. So it ain't hard to connect the dots. So these are children of wickedness, most I talking about in 2 Samuel when he was talking to David. And I'll give you one more reference, and then I'm gonna move on. I don't know what people on the line. Most people on the line should be familiar with the book of Adam and Eve. I'm gonna read that right quick. So, and then you can come to your own conclusion. So it says, I'm in chapter 20 of the book of Adam and Eve, the first book of Adam and Eve. It says, let me see where I'm starting at. Verse 6, it says, Gunan did this to multiply sin. He also acted with pride and taught the children of Cain. See that? The children of Cain and the children of wickedness, the same people, to commit all manner of grossness, wickedness, that which they did not know until then, and he put them up to all kinds of deeds which they did not know of before. Then when Satan saw that they obeyed Gudin and listened to him, this Canaan, they didn't flip the name, but this is Tubal Cain, okay, and listened to him in everything he told them, and he rejoiced greatly, and he increased gone his understanding until he took iron. See, this is how we know this Tubal Cain, and with it he made weapons of war. Then when they were drunk, hatred and murder increased among them. One man would use violence against another, and Satan would teach him evil in that one man would take another man's children and defile them. Well, ain't that what we at? Ain't that what Mel Gibson telling us? Ain't that what we have found out?
Yes.
They just zeroed in on the children. This ain't something just started. It says, and when men saw that they were vanquished and saw that others were not beaten, those were beaten came to Jonah and took refuge with him, and he made them part of his group. The sin increased among them greatly until a man married his own sister or daughter or mother or other, or the daughter of his father's sister, first cousin, so that there was no more distinction of relationship, and they could no longer discern what was seen and what was not, but always were wicked, and the earth was defiled with sin, and they angered God and the judge who had created them. But Guna gathered together groups that they played on horns and on all the other instruments we have already mentioned at the foot of the holy mountain. They did that so that the children of Seth were on the holy mountain would hear it. So we see two different distinctions of people. You got the children of Seth, and you got Cain's descendants. That's wicked as hell. That nobody seems that the New Testament can void out of the conversation. There's a distinction to them, and they got two different origins. So we see now what the woman is telling us in the video, how it all come together. Because, like I said, it's a race of people on the earth that's wicked as hell that was in the garden. When you understand the story, then the evidence start coming out, and your clarity start coming to you. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna play a little the guy Kanye West brought up the fact about the Pizzagate and how that he tied the Pizzagate to the pedophile ring that's worldwide, that these people, the elite, is using. They selling kids. At the same time, they molesting them, killing them, eating them, and all that. But at the same time, they making money off of it. So I'm gonna play a little snippet of that, and then we're gonna go into Q&A. And we get it. Okay. Here we go.
In part one, we briefly looked at the sexualization of children and the normalization of pedophilia in our society. Innocence is sexier than you think. And what about this clothing store called Sweet and Sexy Kids? What the hell is sexy about kids? At an academic presentation at Cambridge University in June 2018, it was actually stated that the majority of men are probably pedophiles and that pedophilic interest is normal and healthy. The New York Times declared pedophilia not a crime but a disorder. And during 2 TEDx talks, pedophilia was presented not as a disorder but as a sexual orientation. Posters were spread. And Cosmopolitan magazine published an article by the hand of a young woman who became a father's lover.
Talking about camera VA.
Now, of course, in order to make all of this legal, the age of consent had to go down so that having sex with a child would no longer be a crime. No problem. Judges and politicians at the highest level did their utmost best to take care of that. Not many people know that Patricia Hewitt was General Secretary of the NCCL, later known as Liberty, which was affiliated to PI, the Pedophile Information Exchange. Then there's former British Prime Minister Theresa May, who thinks pedophiles should be allowed to adopt children too. When you study the patterns of this topic, it seems there is a larger plan behind it all. Why is it so important to legalize pedophilia? Why is having sex with children so important? Any psychologist can tell you how harmful it is for children to have sex at a young age, and that consent is a very dangerous concept, as pedophiles often tell their children they are simply demonstrating just how much they love them. Sex is then confused with love. The child cannot comprehend the subsequent feelings of pain, shame, anger and fear. The secrecy put upon them is hard to deal with. All of this results in great trauma. Why then would a society push pedophilia down our throats, bit by bit, step by step, normalizing it so that we grow to the idea instead of reject it? Why create a society of traumatized people? Why are pedophile logos used in children cartoons, Disney movies, candy and ice cream, child protection centers, adoption agencies, in business and in politics? Meet Sheila Jackson-Lee, member of the House of Representatives, proudly wearing her young boy lover ring. What is going on here? Let's follow a lead. Check this out. This still image appears in a video clip of a band called Sex Stains, and this is where it gets interesting. They played at Comet Ping Pong, a restaurant in Washington, D.C. Best known for its pizza, ping pong tables in the basement, high-profile clients such as Hillary Clinton and the Obamas, and a conspiracy theory called Pizzagate. More about which in a bit.
Okay. So, with that being said, I want to go into Q&A, but that's the argument of the Pizzagate is that, you know, they got this place that's set up over in, I think it's Colorado somewhere, where they got this where it's elite go to. And, you know, they got supposedly a pizza place, but they go there to scope out kids, and then they got different rooms they go in and do different type of stuff to different kids. They even got a place where the pizzas got human parts on it, but they eat. So like I'm saying, if that don't go back to what I just read in Genesis, I don't know what to do. So
what was the last thing you said? What was the last thing you said? You said they go there to get pizza, but they're actually going there to be with children. And then what was the last thing you said?
They kill it. They they sodomize the kids, then they kill it, then they take the body parts of it and make a pizza with it and eat it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So like I was saying before, this is how we've been dumbed down. When the Most High say wicked, he's talking about wicked. We thinking some term like going and robbing some old lady, taking her money and run off with it. Mm-hmm. It ain't what he talking about. He talking about what this. This is what he talking about. And so that was the whole purpose of the flood. But people don't understand it. This is the kind of stuff was going on really had to bring the flood. And they done posted right back up again with the same stuff. But it's 10 times worse.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was saying before, a rational mind gonna know that we ain't come from the same places these people came from. So you got to go back in the beginning and do your homework to find out the beginnings of all this. And these same wicked people got hold to our records. That's how you get the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand that. Okay. So like I was saying, we're gonna do a little Q&A. Anybody got anything they want to come in on about these first five parts of this video? We're gonna do the other side tonight.
Yeah, one of the things that got me was Sheila Jackson Lee. When I seen that ring, I said, "Oh man!" I mean, I already knew she was part of the system, but I didn't understand that portion of it.
Oh yeah, that's what I keep on saying back when about that's how when they holler about like the man was saying, they holler about the old folks. They put you to sleep on that. They holler about the little kids, put you to sleep, and then they holler about it's a black person. Now you gotta open your eyes up. Do more looking and listening than you do talking. So if you walk like a duck, then it's a duck. And so like the woman kept on saying all through these first 5 videos, they symbolism. Remember what the brother said JFAT means? They ignorant. They foolish. They say one thing, but their actions say something else. So the symbolism, he said, is what's gonna be their demise.
Thompson.
So she's sitting there with the ring on her finger, huh?
For what day? For what
What's
day?
Yeah.
Hello?
I think somebody's phone is not muted and they talking, I think.
Okay.
Could you guys, are we talking about Sheila Jackson Lee, the senator?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the understanding of the ring she's wearing?
It's a symbol for boy lovers, love little bitty kids, little boy.
Oh wow.
And it goes back to that. Not only they gonna have a sexual interaction with the kids, they're gonna kill him after that, and then eat him, and then drink the blood. Come on. Wow. So like I was saying before, you can't when you understand what David and Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and all them did was say when they first started dealing with the Most High, they fumbled. They was fumbling around with it. Then they realized about the righteousness that they couldn't go to the left or to the right of that. So how in the hell you gonna be doing this kind of stuff and you gonna have any kind of understanding of the Most High? You're not.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Can't understand the Most High. All the mega pastors doing this. That's why I was saying about you can't go in there looking at their title and what they saying, where they been and all. You can't look at that. Look at them. Like I said, you can't be sodomizing the boys and you can't see it on the nigga face. You can see it on his face.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. That's what we ain't doing. Right. And so that's where the anger come in when the Most High do send a righteous man. They want to kill him. They want to cut him off. They don't want to hear him say nothing. Yeah.
Well, one thing I noticed is how these people are so connected. When you think about it, these people are being born into these positions. They're right. Born and put into those positions, and you know how really connected they are behind the scenes. When everything, they make it seem random, or like this person worked his way up, and he really, got in there and did all this and became a millionaire. But they're not. These people are being put in these positions and born into these positions. So they're all just really connected behind the scenes, and that was mind-blowing for me.
Right, and they prep them for it. They prep them for it. So you can't be up there and don't be diabolical. Like they were showing with Anderson Cooper. All the things that happened to him when he was young. He didn't even have none of the credentials to be no news reporter or none of that. But he had all the right credentials to be ratchet. That's what they want.
For what day?
Yeah.
So it's a false illusion.
Somebody's phone on. Yeah.
It's a false illusion, just like being an actor or a musician or anything else. They tell you can be this too, but no. Even the athlete, you can be this too. No, they've been groomed from birth.
Right.
To be these people.
Right. And so what another side of that people not getting either. So look at like I said, look at all the let's just say basketball. Look at all the girls now. It's girls now too, but back in the day, all the boys, black boys that was trying to be professional athletes, right? Right. It's a limited amount gonna be athletes, right? But look at all the money they made off all the little boys that pursued that.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, now you spend all that money. Your mom and daddy spent all that money on this and that, and now you over you at some plant, working at some plant now. But most of your childhood, you spent all this money pursuing to be a professional athlete.
Right, and I also think, it's almost every young child, especially the boys, when you ask them what do they want to be when they grow up, it's a professional athlete. And the thing about it is, they hold to that dream all the way through high school. And then it seems like after high school, like you say, only a certain amount are going to go to, what I call those NBA farms, which is those prep schools that are feeders for the NBA. But then 90% or 99% of those guys at the high school, start selling drugs or something because they've had their mind on making fast money.
Right.
And so we talk about a pipeline from the education system to prison, but there is a pipeline in how you think that goes from false aspirations into trying to make fast money, and then that becomes a pipeline, to prison as well.
Right. The thing is concerning them is look at the money that they made off all the sneakers and all the stuff you done bought up until that point before you figure out you ain't gonna be no professional athlete.
Right.
It's just like you say, I'm gonna work at this plant till I retire. Well, you ain't no more good. After you retire, you ain't no more good. But look at all the money they made off you. That's just one person. That's a trick to that. So like I was saying before, why would you work at some plant for $10, $15 an hour when you're looking at somebody else over here that's got a business making all kind of money? Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
That's a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to do it. But I'm saying is you got to look at that. But we don't ever really look at that. And then you can even come together 3 or 4 people and come up with a business, and then you ain't got to do that. But they got us so like I say, we don't look at things. We don't look at the mechanics and stuff. Anyway, so So anybody got any more comments on that?
I just want to say one more thing. When it comes to the politicians, I mean their speeches and what they say are so coded and so filled with code words, because when you think about all of them are talking about producing more jobs. They're not really talking about producing entrepreneurs, people that but because there was some type of 1860 compromise that relegated us to be the laborers for as long as we are in America.
Right.
And so when they talk about, we're gonna bring this company, it's gonna produce thousands of jobs, it sounds good to people that don't have a job, but actually they're keeping with their plan for us from way back, and that is that we would be the laborers and the workers, and they would do everything that they can for us not to rise to the level of an entrepreneur. Of course, you have some percentage of us, but with as many professional athletes and professional actors and all this that we have, you would think that we would have a whole dang city or a whole dang state with nothing but 100 people.
Right. But the thing about that is, you look at when you look at basketball, if you were dealing with righteous people, you know, that was concerned about mankind. Look at all that. You can have way more basketball teams than you have in the NBA, but they limited it. They limited it, and then not even that. You can come down to CBA. You know what I'm saying? You got smaller cities that can have a league, and that league. I mean, not necessarily dealing with white folks, but with black folks, they're gonna make a lot of money because black folks is outgoing people. They deal with that type of stuff. Just like the Negro League. The black baseball Negro League, they was making all kind of money off, but you know, is what really made the National Football League and the baseball. What they call that?
MLB.
Baseball. So yeah, the NLB. All that was they the ones made those leagues, but the national the Negro League was thriving on its own. They didn't want disassembly, just like the ABA. They disassembled it. The ABA will be off the roof right now if they would have disassembled it. Yeah.
Right.
So that's them behind the scenes, dictating the narrative, like I was saying. Yeah. Okay. So anybody have more comments? Before we move?
Yeah, I want to say that with how it showed all the people that come up dead behind Hillary Clinton and that mess that they be doing. That just goes to show how much control they have over the whole system as in general, because somebody should say, now wait a minute, all these people strangely come up dead whenever they get ready to, testify and say something about, what the Clintons have done. Now, you would think, But now I saw another document, I don't know if anybody else seen it, where they were talking about how when Bill Clinton was in college, he was living in trees. And when people followed, they complained because I guess he was pooping from the tree and it was falling on the ground, and they said that it smelled so bad when the cops went to talk to him about it. He was living. Who does that?
Right. Exactly.
So some strange with them folks.
Well, yeah, they are, and then all of them have a past that's similar to that. They didn't cover it over where you don't really know nothing about it until it starts coming out. Yeah. So anybody else got anything? Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go to connect the dots, couple of dots right here. And what it's about is a lot of people don't understand too. Like when the Most High talk about blessings and receiving the blessings, what I'm shining light on today is the mechanics to how to receive a blessing. So it says all these blessings that come upon the earth, and all the blessings that come upon the earth are sent by angels. They do not just fall from the sky. They don't like they was trying to make the illusion that the Holy Spirit is just running around up there. Nobody don't look at the mechanics of that. The Holy Spirit it's an angel, and it has a name. You have a name. It ain't just you just can't say the Holy Spirit and then leave it alone. It's got a name. It's like y'all, the God. You say the Most High, well, you got a name. So my objective is to try to go in all the way in and show you the mechanics to it. So I'm gonna show you right here on a couple of situations how the mechanics to receiving a blessing. I'm in Genesis chapter 20. And the situation is the situation is with Abraham, when Abraham was down in Gerar with Amalek. And so understand that what the Most High means, what Abraham means to the Most High. So quite naturally, he's going to bless him. So I'm in Genesis chapter 20, I'm starting at verse 1. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said to Sarah his wife, she is my sister. And Amalek king of Gerar sent and took Sarah. But God came to Amalek in a dream by night and said unto him, Behold, thou art both a dead man for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. But Amalek had not come near her, and he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, she is my sister. And she said, and she herself said, he is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. And God said unto him in the dream, Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thine heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffer I thee not to touch her. 7. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. Therefore Amalek rose up early in the morning, called his servants, and told all these things in their ears, and the men were so afraid. Then Amalek called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee, that thou brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin, that thou hast done this deed unto me that ought not be done? And Amalek said unto Abraham, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife. So he said, based on what I just read in the book of Adam and Eve, they saw Sarah and they seen how she looked. They was gonna kill him, and he don't see nobody keeping the Most High laws and statutes and judgments, so he think they're gonna kill him. 12. And yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And it came to pass when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is my kindness, which thou shalt show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, he is my brother. And Amalek took look at this. So with this situation, the Most High wanted Abraham, he loved Abraham. Abraham is the friend of the Lord. He wanted Abraham to be blessed. So 14, through this conversation, through this situation, 14 came. And Amalek took sheep, oxen, manservants, and women servants, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him to Sarah, his wife. And Amalek said, Behold, my land is before thee, the well where it pleaseth thee. And unto Sarah he said, Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to thee a covering of thine eyes, unto all that are with thee, and with all others. Thus was she reproved. So Abraham prayed unto the God, and God healed Amalek and his wife and his manservants, and they bore children. For the Lord had fast closed up all the wounds of the house of Amalek because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. So we see right here how Abraham received the blessing. First of all, Abraham, he kept the Most High's commandments and his laws, statutes, and judgments. He veered not to the right, to the left. He ended up down in Gerar, and through Amalek, the Most High calls him to bless Abraham. Abraham left that place rich. The blessing overcame him, but how did he receive the blessing? The angel of the Lord came to Amalek. Let me read it again. Says 3. But God came, that's El, that's the Lord of hosts. God came to Amalek in a dream by night and said unto him, Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. And Amalek had come near to her, had not come near to her, and he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also the righteous nation? Said he not unto me, she is my sister, and she herself said, he is my brother, in the integrity of thine heart, and the innocency of my hands, I have not done this. And the El said unto him in a dream, yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thine heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffer I thee not to touch her. So the angel showed up. That's how he received the blessing. See, Amalek would have went on and probably eventually killed Abraham and kept Sarah for itself. But the blessing came when the angel showed up in 60, in verses 14 through 18. And so one more witness for that is Genesis chapter 30.
What book is that?
Genesis chapter 30.
Okay.
I'm reading 22. I'm starting at chapter 20, verse 22. It says, and God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her and opened her womb. Let me see if I'm in the right place. Opened her womb, and she conceived and bore a son, and said, God hath taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, the Lord shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away, that I may go into mine own place, and to my children. I want to shine light on that right quick. Notice that Jacob had 12 sons, but he didn't decide to leave from the place where he was at till Joseph was born. And we know the deal with Joseph. 26. Give me my wives and my children for whom I have served thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service which I have done. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. And he said unto him, thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me, for it was little which thou had before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude, and the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. And now when I have provided for mine own house also. And he said, what shall I give thee? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. And I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from this all the speckled and the spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and the speckled among the goats. And of such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in the time to come, when I shall come to my hire before thy face. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And he removed that day the goats that was ringed, streaked, and spotted, and all the she goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and he gave them into the hands of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey between him and Jacob. And Jacob fled and the rest of Laban's flock. Fed the rest of Laban's flock. So he go to increase. 37. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar and a hazel and chestnut tree, and piled white strakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had piled before the flocks in the gutters and in the water troughs when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle, ring-stricken and speckled and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flock toward the ring streaked, and all the brown in the flock of Laban. And he put his own flock by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, Whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, and that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in, so that the feebler were Laban's and the stronger were Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly and had much cattle, manservants, maidservants, cattle, and asses. Okay, we got one more thing to read, and I'm gonna close out. So when you go to with that being said, you go to Jasher chapter 29, and we're gonna see how the Most High blessed Jacob after all that. Chapter 29 of Jasher. And I'll start reading at 24. It says, and Isaac called unto Jacob and said unto him. So this how you see the blessing right here. And Isaac called unto Jacob and said unto him, take not a wife from the daughters of Canaan. We know he did that. For thus did our father Abraham command us, according to the words of the Lord, which he commanded him, saying, unto thy seed will I give this land. If thy children keep my covenant, and that I have made with thee, then will I also perform thy children that which have I spoken unto thee, and I will not forsake them. So he's telling them that what he told Abraham told Isaac, Isaac told Jacob, they do what he commanded them, he gonna bless them. Well, how he gonna bless them? He gonna send angels. So 25. Now therefore, my son, hearken to my voice, to do all that I shall command thee, and refrain from taking a wife from among the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Haran, to the house of Bethel, thy mother's father, and take unto thee a wife from there, and from the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. He done that. He done that too. 26. Therefore, take heed lest thou shouldest forget the Lord thy God, and all his ways in the land which thou goest, and should get connected with the people of the land, and pursue vanity and forsake the Lord thy God. That's where we at. 27. But when thou comest to the land, serve there the Lord. Do not turn to the right or to the left from the way which I commanded thee, and which thou didst learn. He did that. And may the Almighty God grant thee favor in the sight of the people of the earth, that they may have taken thee a wife according to thy choice, one who is good and upright in the ways of the Lord. And may God give unto thee and thy seed the blessings of thy father Abraham, and make thee fruitful and multiply thee, and may thou become a multitude of people in the land whither thou goest. May God cause thee to return to this land, and the land of thy father's dwelling, with the children, with children and with great riches, with joy and pleasure, gifts together with silver and gold. And he sent them away, and Jacob hearkened to his father and his mother, and he kissed them and arose and went to Panorama. And Jacob was 77 years old when he went out from the land of Canaan from Bathsheba. So I want to highlight right quick. So we know the Most High deal with 7. In the very beginning, he made 7 angels. And we know that 7 days he took to do the creation. Well, right here, Jacob's 77 years old. That's 2 7 years old. And when he went out from the land of Canaan for Bathsheba, well, we talked about Bathsheba. That's the well where Abraham, his grandfather, made the covenant there with the 7 huge lambs with Amalek. So it's 7s all over the place. Then you wonder why he got blessed. So this is when Isaac had blessed him and gave him all this stuff. But we know that in 38, Eliphaz came and robbed him. Eliphaz came and robbed Jacob. In verse 38, it said, the Lord called Jacob to find favor in the sight of Eliphaz, but he was told by Esau to rob him and kill him. But 38 says, and the Lord caused Jacob to find favor in the sight of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, and his men, and they hearkened to the voice of Jacob, and they did not put him to death. So they didn't kill him, and Eliphaz and his men took all belonging to Jacob together with the silver and the gold that he had brought with him from Bathsheba, and they left him with nothing. So he ended up over there with Laban with nothing. But Most High had already blessed him. He ended up over there with nothing. Right? So now I'm in Jasher. Let me see. Yeah, I'm supposed to be at 36. And, hold up. I'm in Jasher 31. So Most High, through Isaac, blessed him. He saw robbing. Then he come back to Jasher 31. I'm almost finished. Chapter 31, and I'm in 22. At that time, Jacob's mother Rebekah sent her nurse Deborah and the daughter of Uz and two of Isaac's servants unto Jacob. And they came to Jacob at Haran, and they said unto him, Rebekah has sent us to thee, that thou should return to thy father's house and to the land of Canaan. And Jacob hearkened unto them in this which his mother had spoken. And at that time, the other 7 years which Jacob served Laban for Rachel were completed, and it was at the end of 14 years that he had dwelt in Haran that Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wives and send me away, that I may go to my land. For behold, my mother did send unto me for the land from the land of Canaan, that I should return to my father's house. And Laban said unto him, Not so, I pray thee, if I found favor in thy sight, do not leave me, appoint me thy wages, and I will give them, and remain with thee. And Jacob said unto him, This is what thou shalt give me for wages, that I shall this day pass thy flock, and take away from them every lamb that is spotted and speckled, and such as are brown, and among the sheep, and among the goats. And if thou wilt do this thing for me, I will return and feed thy flock and keep them at first. And Laban did so, and Laban removed from his flock all that Jacob had said and gave them to him. And Jacob placed all that he had removed from Laban's flock in the hands of his sons, and Jacob was feeding and remained of Laban's flock. And when the servants of Isaac came, he had sent Jacob. He sent unto Jacob and saw that Jacob would not then return with them to the land of Canaan to his father, that they went away from him, and they returned home to the land of Canaan. And Deborah remained with Jacob in Haran, and she did not return with the servants of Isaac to the land of Canaan. And Deborah resided with Jacob's wives and the children in Haran. And Jacob served Laban 6 years longer. And when the sheep brought forth, look at this, he go to blessing. And when Jacob served Laban 6 years longer, and when the sheep brought forth, Jacob removed from them such as were speckled and spotted, and as he had determined with Laban. And Jacob did so at Laban for 6 years. And the man increased abundantly, and he had cattle and maidservants and men servants and cattle, camel and asses. And Jacob had 200 droves of cattle, and his cattle were of large size and of a beautiful appearance, and were productive. And all the families of the sons of men, look at this, all the families of the sons of men desired to get some of the cattle of Jacob, for they were exceedingly prosperous. As many as the sons of men came to procure some of Jacob's flocks. And Jacob gave them a sheep for a man servant, or a maid servant for an ass or a camel, or whatever Jacob desired from them they gave him. And Jacob obtained riches and honor and possessions by the means of these transactions with the sons of men. And the children of Laban envied him on this honor. So we see how you receive a blessing, the mechanics to it. Jacob did everything that the Most High had told him to do, according to what his Abraham and his Isaac, his father, done. And the angel showed up, and he got blessed. And he ain't doing nothing no different than what Abraham did and what Isaac did. And he received a blessing. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to close that out. You know, let me see something right quick. I had the prayer I was going to read of Jeremiah. Y'all want me to read it? I can read it, or we can close out.
Read it.
Okay, Okay.
Yeah, can I inquire about what you read, or are you gonna do that after?
We can go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want to try to hold. I want to hold everybody too long. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Now go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah. That's all right.
Okay. Well, I was telling you about the little plug I want to put in there. I was talking with somebody about Hazard for the Gentiles, and I had found that it's in Judges chapter 4, verse Judges chapter 4, verse 2. I'm gonna read it right quick. Chapter 4, verse 2 of Judges. It says that, and the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord when Elah was dead. So Elah, whatever his name, he's one of the judges in the book of Judges. And the Lord sold them into the hands of Jabin, the king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazorah. So there's a place called Hazorah. And the captain of whose host was Sisera, which dwelt at Hazorah of the Gentiles. So the point is, you do your research on that, you find out that's in Upper Galilee. So it was a group of Gentiles that the Israelites already knew that existed among the Israelites up around Upper Galilee. And this is where all the events took place. This is where all the events took place in the New Testament. But it's Gentiles there. So anyway, and so yeah, I just want to put that little plug in there. So I'm going to read Jeremiah's prayer. Jeremiah chapter 16 right quick. Jeremiah 16. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 32. 16 through 27 I'm reading. So it says, Now when I had delivered the evidence of the purchase unto the Barak, the son of Nero, I prayed unto the Lord, saying, O Lord God, behold, thou hast made the heavens and the earth by the great power, and stretched thy arm, and there is nothing too hard for thee. Thou showest loving kindness unto thousands, and recompensest the iniquity of thy fathers into the bosom of their children after them. The great, the mighty God, the Lord of hosts is his name. Great in counsel and mighty in works, for thine eyes are open upon all the ways of the sons of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings, which has set signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, even unto this day, and in Israel and among other men, and has made thee a name as it is this day, and has brought forth thy people Israel out of the land of Egypt with signs and with wonders and with a strong hand and with a stretched out arm and with great terror, and has given them this land which thou didst swear to their fathers to give them, a land flowing with milk and honey. And they came in, possessed it, but they obeyed not thy voice, neither walked in thy law. They have done nothing of all that thou commanded them to do. Therefore thou hast caused all this evil to come upon them. Behold, of the mounts, they are come upon the city to take it, and the city is given into the hands of the Chaldeans that fight against it because of the sword and of the famine and of the pestilence. What thou hast spoken in spoken is come to pass, and behold, thou seest it. And thou hast said unto me, O Lord, buy thee the field for money, and take witnesses, for the city is given into the hands of the Chaldeans. Then came the word of the Lord unto Jeremiah, saying, Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh, and there is nothing too hard for me. So, right quick, dealing with that, like I said, reading what they're saying, not what somebody told you. So we try to figure out who this, we don't try to figure out who this is. But in verse 18 it says, thou showest loving kindness. First of all, 17 says, the Lord God, behold, thou hast made the heavens and the earth by thy great power, right? And I stretched out arm, and there is nothing too hard for thee. So you say, well, what you talking about? 18, thou showest loving and kindness unto thousands, and recompenses the iniquity of thy fathers into the bosom of thy children, the children after them. The great, the mighty God, the Lord of hosts is his name. It ain't Yahweh. Okay?
Right.
So with that being said, anybody got any comments before we get off the line, we can get off.
Yeah, can you repeat the name of the video that you wanted us to watch?
What's that? Oh, it's
video.
It's the video, the one with the one that you brought up. It's just 5 through 10. That's what I'm talking about tonight.
You said, "Oh Jerusalem."
Oh, I gotta find it. I gotta get the name of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Do anybody have any more comments or anything before we go?
Yeah, I was going to say that I had mentioned it the other day, but I'm going to say it again. So I was having a little bit of technical difficulties, but the last 4 lessons are on YouTube. If anybody wants to go look at them, I created a playlist specifically for the weekly lessons. So when you go under the tabs, instead of clicking on the video, just go to playlist.
Okay.
You'll see all the lessons there. And so I'm going to try to have the one for today up there soon.
Okay. Appreciate that.
I would just like to encourage everyone as we continue to walk through what we know the Most High is in control of. We are willows by the water course, and as our teacher often says, we're further along than we really understand. So we have no worries. We're waiting on our Redeemer.
Okay. Let me turn this off first.
All right.